I'm just going to get straight to the point. Philadelphia now can finally say that we are the best team, or the Phillies are the best team in the world, and we finally have our championship to break the 25-year drought. And this just takes away so much of the pain of the Joe Carter home run in the '93 World Series. This takes away the pain of every time the Flyers ran out of the gas in the playoffs. This takes away the pain of the Super Bowl loss and the 3 straight NFC Championship game losses for the Eagles. And this is all relieved. And the funny thing about it was I was standing there once the ball dropped, or I was up in New York once the ball dropped to ring in the new year in 2008, and I just said, and it was even on camera in a video I uploaded here on YouTube, and I said, the Phillies, this is the year they're going to win the World Series, and I'll post a link up here on the right. But you know, I even said back in February or March, whenever it was, I made a video, and my expectations for the Phillies was to win the NL East, win the NL pennant, win the World Series, and anything less than that was a disappointment. And if the Phillies accomplished that, then it would just be complete mayhem, and I'd just be going insane. But really, the feeling just hasn't really sunk in. But this is going to be pretty much part 1. I'm just going to talk about the feeling of what it's like to be a world champion, for a fan at least, of my favorite team, the Philadelphia Phillies, or favorite baseball team rather. And then I'll go and on my next video and just talk about each player that stepped up. But you know, once again, Jimmy Rollins is right. Jimmy Rollins said in 2007 we were the team to beat in the NL East, and you know what? We won the NL East. Jimmy Rollins said we'd win 100 games this year. We got 103, counting the postseason. And you know, I just think, you know, in Philadelphia we just have more of an appreciation to finally win a championship than any other city in the world, or I mean, any other city throughout the country that has won in the past. I mean, I'm talking about teams like the Florida Marlins, teams like the Arizona Diamondbacks, the St. Louis Cardinals, who just don't really have or really compare to what we have as fans. And it feels great that we won. Just every player, you know, I'll probably just catch on this more in my next video, but it just seems like every player stepped up when needed, and I'm just so proud of the Phillies. And a lot of my credit also goes to the Tampa Bay Rays. What a great season they had. You know, yeah, I could bash them all I want about, you know, their fans and all. I mean, yes, it's true. You know, a lot of their fans are just complete bandwagon jumpers and just jumped all on this year. But it's life. What are you gonna do? But you know, I give their team a lot of credit. Their players stepped up, and you know, I always hope my Phillies win. But if for some year it's just not the Phillies' year, and the Rays are in the World Series against any other NL team, I'll root for the Rays. But I'm so happy the Phillies beat them this year to win, and finally, you know, with the whole Philly-Tampa stuff with the Buccaneers and the Eagles and the Flyers and the Lightning, it's not even a pain anymore. How about Bradley? It's 48 for 48 this year. He was called 48 times to save the game for the Phillies, and he saved 48 of them. And all the Mets fans are like, "Oh, Bradley sucks. You know, he's gonna blow so many games for you guys and so many saves." You know what? I bet the Mets have more blown saves this year than Bradley has ever had in his entire career. But it's crazy. You know, this city. You know, I love this city. We have great people in it, and you know, once, you know, another example of that is just once the Phillies won, this whole city just ran out on the Broad Street. Where else do you see that? And we probably set the world record for most people at a parade in sports history. I believe it was at least 2.5 million people last Friday, including, I was at the parade at City Hall. Got a few nice pictures, by the way, but 2.5 million people all down Broad Street. That's how much we care about this team. Philadelphia sports is like a religion to us. It's like a way of life, and it's just our passion, that drives us through the daily life. When our teams lose, it stings like hell. When our teams win, especially win a world championship like the Phillies, it's just complete euphoria. Everyone goes crazy. But I don't know what much else I can say. It's just that this team is fighting all year, every game, no matter if they're up 10 or down 10. But you know what? Here's the name that we've been given. I don't know if you can see this. It's the rally towel given out at the World Series, the Fightin' Phils, because you can't ever quit on the Phillies, or we'll just come back and win. Just great players stepping up, and that'll lead me right there into my next video. But I'm just so proud of the Phillies. We're world champions. Just let that sink in. The Phillies are World Series champions, and it feels great. Alright, that pretty much does it for me. So here's to another video. Excited Philly sports fan right here, and myself. Just so happy. I've been with the Phillies all year, spring training, been to about 9 regular season games and 3 playoff games, including a World Series game. And it's just so hard to explain how it feels to just finally win. I knew this was going to be our year. I didn't say that on New Year's Day for no reason. I didn't just randomly say the Phillies are going to win the World Series. I knew the Phillies would back my words up and win the World Series. And I'm just so proud of the Phillies, man. And just for the great people of this city, including myself. And just to be there every step of the way as myself throughout all the Phillies season and just win the World Series, it feels great. And ever since we got swept by the Rockies last year, I was always pumped up for 2008. And man, it's almost like a freaking dream, man. It's like, is this really happening? But the Phillies are World Series champions. So this is great. All right, that does it for me. All right, see ya. Phillies are World Series champions once again.